It's another episode of Caster Coaching here with Leo at your service. We got a question coming in from Jose Angelo Joboy Malvar. Hey, yo, Sir Leo, what's your go-to approach / framework when doing homework on teams for broadcast? And also, what are some other things that you look for as a part of it? Thanks. No, thank you, Joboy. That's an awesome topic. And to start, we're going to differentiate what kind of preparation we make and what kind of approach we have in broadcast when we're talking about amateur and pro and anything in between. When you're talking about amateur teams, you're going to want to write the story for them. These are new players or players who really haven't had a name made for themselves yet, especially in a growing scene, a developing scene. They're all together learning about each other. So your goal here, in shorter terms, is to get to know them. So you're going to join the audience in doing so. So the homework that you are going to prepare for there is more for the league, more for you and your partner, more about the mechanics, more about the game, and how these new elements, these wild cards, these new players, these fresh meat ingredients, how they join this concoction, this dish that you're all serving up to the fans. The difference between that and the pro scene is for the pro leagues, you're just there to tell the story. It's write the story, tell the story. Not to mean that there's no writing involved when it comes to the pro scene. Actually, there's a lot of writing involved. What matters there more is you choose your angles and you choose what you look for, more on that later. So in that case, what you do when you're working the pro scene or something that's more established is you're growing the legend. You look for what's established, you look for what's already there, and you build on that to respect what came before, to respect what these players have worked for already, and then you add to that. You elevate it. You put it on a pedestal, and then you tell people, hey, isn't that cool? Did you know that? Did you see that? Did you know they were capable of that? That's the different approaches, all right? When you're doing research, when you're preparing for broadcast, when you're studying these teams. Now, I have 3 tips as to how you can do that, and this encapsulates more maybe the pro side of things. When you're doing amateur broadcast or more developing leagues, growing leagues, you're more there to build them up. So the preparation comes through game knowledge, mechanics, meta, knowing your partner, working with them, and then giving the people a good show so that when they get to know the players that they're watching, they get to anchor that memory onto them and they remember for the next time they see these young players, these new bloods, so to speak. So, with that said, 3 tips when you're working and preparing, studying for teams. Number 1 is they are people first. Know their names. Know their age, where they're from, a basic bio, a slum book, if you will, because this comes into play when you're talking about them as people, which what they are. It's safe to say that whenever someone watches your broadcast, they at least know the game. Even if they're not as big fans or as big nerds about it, they know about the game. So when we're working a broadcast, you want to humanize these players and make them people. Yes, they have IGNs, but also they have dreams, they have aspirations, they have occupations. They are students. Where do they come from? Are they repping Tondo? Are they repping Cavite? Are they repping Quezon City? Whichever part of that is, it's such a big city. So you want to make that an anchor for people, and you want to make that part of your calls, right? Because who knows, what if throughout different broadcasts you notice that, hey, these kids from Pasay, these kids from Taguig play a certain way. That's amazing. And then you make that a part of that long-term narrative. So you build up on bio, you check out real life things, what these people live through, what these people are all about, what they're fighting for. Who knows that they might be playing this tournament to fund their schooling or to put food on their table. From a narrative standpoint, that's very strong. So you find that out, you learn about that, you make that part of your prep. Make sure that these people are people first, or these players are people first. And they are athletes second. This is 1.5. This is 1B to the 1A. you study their mechanics. It's base knowledge, what role they play, what their specialties are, but you attach that to them being people, and you suddenly have things like, oh, he's the youngest, and he is the hot shot. He is the core player. He is the eldest. He is the shot caller. He's the captain. It makes sense. It paints a picture in people's minds. He's suddenly Leonardo from the TMNT, right? So you have a leader. He's the Red Ranger, Power Rangers. So it allows for people to anchor more onto them. It allows for people to understand better who they are. Oh, this is the tech, the coach, the strategist. Oh, that's freaking, what else from, he's Plankton. He's an evil mastermind. He's a genius. So you're already able to paint pictures in people's heads besides just what they see in game. So you put those two together. People first, athletes second, and suddenly you have a story. And I'm not even telling you what game this is, right? I'm not even telling you what's on stake, what's on the line, what kind of tournament this is. But you already have pictures of what these people are like, who they are. So that's number one. Number two is team history. Okay, so we move from the individual to the team. When were they established? What's their structure like? What other games have they played? How established, how big is this organization? Who are their rivals? Right? What was the last tournament they played? What was the last match they played? Did they win prior? So you get to see what their mentality is like. If they came in from a big win, they have a big target on their back. If they lost, but it was close, that last grand finals they were part of, they got a chip on their shoulder. So what is the team's history allows for you to paint that picture. So already you know them on an individual level, and then you now know them on a historic level. Suddenly you're like a friend to this team. Suddenly it got personal. Suddenly there is a sentiment. And again, you don't even know what match this is, what game this is, what tournament it is, what sport. But just by painting those pictures, by knowing those information, you're able to relay that to the audience. And 2B, 2.5 here to the 2A of the team's history is analogies. Prepare to write analogies. Is this team like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of this esport? Are they like the Chicago Bulls in the 90s? Again, my basketball analogies might not be very good, but again, that's what you prepare for. Are they the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel of this esport? Are they the people's champions? Are they crowd favorites? Draw those analogies, whip them out, prepare for those calls to be said on broadcast. And suddenly, again, you're giving the audience something else to anchor onto. Last but not least, I already gave you 1 and 2. Here's the third, tendencies and signatures. Much like how you prepare for an amateur broadcast, you anchor onto your fundamentals, your mechanics, your game knowledge, your technicalities. You circle back to that. You take the personal stuff, you take the historical stuff as a player, as a team, and then you wrap it back up into that package of how do they play. Again, you can be as general and as vague as possible. Oh, they like to play aggressive. They like to play defensive. They like to play slow. So when they go into the broadcast, after you've talked about everything and the match is playing out, you're able to go, hey, this is not their usual. This is new. Did you see that? Did you see what they just did? They're growing. And that's a narrative plotline. Oh, this is so them. They're going to finish this in 2 minutes and we didn't even get to see a whole match. That is trademark Team A. That's another narrative storyline. That's a branch that you can follow on to that your partner can pick up and say, you know what, you're right. Hey, but I've seen them do this in another tournament. Boom, you circle back to number 2. Oh, wait, this is only possible because player X is so-and-so, or because they replaced player X. Player X is now benched because player Z is here. That's why, that's why this is happening. You see how in practice you do 1, 2, and 3? It works out. You see already the skeleton, the formation, and the narrative delivery of what your broadcast might be like. I hope this was informative for you guys, and I hope this helped out, especially for you, Joe Boy. I know that you're preparing for broadcasts left and right. I hope that all of the broadcasters and esports talents watching this pick something up. And if you have a thing or two, that I said here that you want to add on to, put in the comments below. Thank you so much. This has been Caster Coaching with Leo. Send in your possible topics or questions down below in the comments. And I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all. All right? Y'all have a great 2024. Peace!